So, my name is Chester, if I didn't meet you yet. So I'm in IT too, and I work over at Porter Drive most of the time. I work with Jonathan, Harry, Adela, Park. So, just want to thank you for taking time out of your day and investing in yourself to learn more about Box and how to use it better. It is Box Part 3, and so I'll do, even if you're a new user to Box, I'll do a quick review of what Box is, and that way, you don't feel overwhelmed with what we're going to talk about today. Okay, so here's the agenda, and first part we'll do a review, talk about the benefits of using Box, and I'll cover the Box interface, and also talk about Box Sync for Windows, which is a way that you can use Box to be just a folder on your desktop, and you can just drag files there, saving time and having to logging into the website. And then we'll cover advanced features, talking more about the permission. There's a lot of questions I get about, what kind of, what's the difference between a previewer, uploader, or a viewer, things like that. We'll cover that. And then I'll introduce some new ways to extend Box, like Box for Word, and then Box for Outlook. I really like these two ways to extend Box. It saves a lot of time. And then we'll cover some tips and tricks, how to collaborate easier with other departments, and then how to use Box with third parties, such as subcontractors and things like that. Okay, so quick review of benefits. So how many of you have been using Box for like the past 6 months, 6 months already? Okay, so a little bit more than half. Cool. So you know that the benefits of Box is you can share, manage, and access your files anywhere. Box is available on a laptop, desktop, iPhone, iPad, Android, Apple, Windows, and your files are stored on the Box Cloud, which is just the cloud is just a bunch of servers lying on the Box company's physical location, and just puts files on the internet, similar to Apple iCloud, right? You have Apple iCloud on your iPhone, and then you can view that on a different Apple device with your as long as you're logged into your account. So it is available in many different types of hardware and software. And here at Stanford, we get 25 gigs of storage on Box. And it is high security. The files that you upload to Box are encrypted before they get uploaded. And then when someone downloads them or you download it to your device, it gets unencrypted. So it's always stored on Box's servers encrypted. And it's great for collaborating for people within Stanford and non-Stanford users. Right, so here at Lbre, we have our S drive, and then we store our files there to share with our departments. But let's say you want to work with someone on another department on campus, they don't have access to S drive. So Box allows you to drag your file from S drive to a Box folder, and then you can share it that way with other Stanford users and non-Stanford users too. So here's a quick review of what you see when you first log into the Box website are the URL box.stanford.edu. You log in. After logging in successfully, you get brought here, which shows you what files you have. On the left are your files and folders. So the very top folder is a blue folder, and then so you have 3 different types of folders. You have a blue folder, which means the folder that you've been invited to, or you've invited other people to share files with, so that means it's a collaborator folder. The second folder under that is the default sync folder. The yellow one with a blue circle, that means it's a sync folder. And if you're using Box Sync and you make a folder, a sync folder, it'll download automatically to your desktop. Right, so that's a sync folder. And the yellow one means it's private. it's just you. You don't have any collaborators. And then the third one is a regular folder. That's a private folder. Only you have access to that. You're not sharing it with anyone else, and it's not a sync folder. It's just a regular folder. And so those are the three types. And up above here is the navigation. That Stanford is the home button. So if you ever get lost and you don't know how to get your way back here, you're clicking around, just hit that Stanford button. It is a button, so click the word Stanford and you'll be brought back here. Okay, that second one is messages. Basically, you can send messages within Box to other collaborators, and any messages sent to you will be available there. This third one is update. What it is it shows you a listing of what files have been downloaded, if you downloaded what recently, or what did you do recently. It shows it by date and time. And then the fourth one is files, which is here. So when you click on that, it'll bring you here. This one is people. It just shows you a listing of all the collaborators that you are working with. And this last one here is the app. And I'll talk about more of that later. But there's apps available here that you can use to extend Box, like Box for Word and Box for Outlook, Box for Office. So I'll show you how to do that. On the very right is just an account overview. Shows you how much storage you're using up, right? And then if you happen to use up, if you do need more than 25, just ask any of us, and then we can add an additional 25. And I think it's very cheap. I think it's like $30 a year, something like that. And up above here, that search bar is full type search. So if you happen to looking for a file, to save you time from having to go through all your folders, just type in the name of the file there, the full type search, and it will search all your files, and it's really good. It'll save you time. So here's the profile. You click on your name, it just shows you information about yourself, your contact info, things like that. And right here is account settings. This is where you set your password, set like other things within Box. We don't really use this much. You do most of your work on the files. So Box Sync. There's a new version 4. I like it a lot now. I've been using it, and basically it speeds things up for you. That way you don't have to keep on logging into the Box website. You install Box Sync on your laptop, and you can just use it just like any other Windows folder. You just drag files in there, and then it'll automatically upload to the Box servers, Box Cloud. Okay, so here's some new features. Something new with Box Sync 4 is subfolder sync. So now instead of having to sync an entire directory, you may have some files in there. There's a subfolder in there that you only want to share with other people, but you don't want to share the whole directory. But now you can do subfolder sync. So let's say your sync folder is that blue top one, and you want to share that red folder with someone else. You can just, or you want to just sync that folder, but not the rest. Now you can do that with Sync version 4. Also new is shared link. So on your desktop, you can just right-click on a file in your Box folder, and you can just share that. You right-click on it, and then you're able to get the share link, which you can email out to people. And we're having to go up to the web page and logging into the web page and then copying it and all that. So it'll save you like this. You can be doing this in like one step instead of 3. Okay, and then here is root level file syncing. What this means is you can create a folder on your Box Sync folder, and it doesn't have to all pre-exist in your Box account, and it automatically create it. That's all that means. Okay, and then sync on save just upload, just basically just if you're using any kind of application that's on the box sync, you save it, it'll automatically save it and upload it. You don't have to do anything else to sync it. And some huge improvements over the previous version is it's very fast, much faster than 3.5. And now you can name files with special characters. Before you can do that with like exclamation marks and other characters. And you can have up to 256 level heap of the file path. This new version can handle that. Okay. And right here is basically you can have 100,000 plus files on there. There's no problem. You can put a lot of files in it. And then the box sync itself is going to update. You don't have to download anything and install it, just update by itself. Okay, great. So here, I'll just show you how to install box sync if you don't have it already. It's really easy. So if you remember on the navigation screen, which we talked about earlier, next to your name is that little wheel. That wheel is the account settings. You can download the box sync from here. So click on that button, and then here it shows get box sync. Just click on that, and that'll bring you to the box sync installer. This window will appear after you clicking on that button, and then all you need to do is click on this box sync button here with the blue down arrow. Okay, and then you'll get a pop-up which asks you where to save it. You just save the file, run the installer, and then it'll be finished. Okay, and then for signing into Box, some people get confused. They go to box.com on the web page, but our URL is stanford.box.com. But if you do happen to just go to box.com, don't put in your username and password and then click that blue login button. What you want to do is click on the single sign-on button on the bottom left. When you click on that, it'll bring you to another prompt where you enter your account, your email address, your Stanford email address. So be sure to do the single sign-on. Once you log in, you'll be brought to this familiar login, web login. So that's how you log into Box, in case you go to box.com. Yes. .com. Stanford.box.com. Yeah. And everyone has it, already. If you've never used it, just log in there and you'll have it. All right, permissions. So permissions are a big issue. People are confused about, what kind of permission should I give somebody on this box folder. First, you need to determine what kind of access do those people need, right? But it is confusing because you yourself, when you create a folder, you're the owner. You can assign someone else to be a co-owner, which has all the rights as you. The ones that get a lot of questions is what's the difference between the viewer uploader, previewer uploader, viewer and previewer. Okay, so Box is great because it saves a lot of time where if you have someone that you want to share files with and all they need to do is just look at the file, but they don't need to edit the file, Box has a built-in previewer. So what that means is if there's a Word doc that you're sharing with somebody, they can just use Box's previewer and they don't have to download that Word doc. They can just click on that file and on the web page they can view that file. So that's Box's preview feature. So let's say you want to just share it with a contractor. You don't want them to be able to edit it or download the file, right? Because if they download the file, they can give it to someone else. You don't know where that's going. You can give them previewer, I mean. You want to really lock down your your file. Just give them previewer access. And then let's say you have coworkers, you want them to be able to like download and edit docs and all that, you know. The default is the editor. When you create a new folder and you make them collaborators, that's the default. Alright. And then viewer gets confusing too because, you know, viewer, what's the difference between the viewer and a previewer? Well, a viewer can download files. So they can view it on their computer, make edits, right? And then upload it. Okay, so those are the collaborator permissions. So the difference between a viewer and a previewer is a viewer can download a file, make edits on their computer. A previewer can only like preview it on Box's preview feature. I have a cheat sheet and then make that available for everyone to download. Yeah. But this does show up when you create the collaborator. So you hover over when you're adding a person's name, and then a window will pop up and show like, you know, what type of permission it is. But oh, get link is you know the box share link. That means they can get it and then share it with other people. Yeah, that one. Yeah, that's the link. Okay, we'll move on. Okay, and here's that link that we was talking about. The link right here. That's the link, right? Let's say I want to share this folder. So I click on share, and this drop-down menu will appear with a link. This link you can also assign access to it, right? So there's 4 types of access that you can assign to that link. So there's open, your company, collaborators, and no link. We'll go through it all. So open means anyone who has that link, they're going to have access to that folder. So you just got to be careful by choosing open, because if you have some files that are confidential or restricted, you don't want to make that link open, because you can give it to someone and they can email that to someone else, and then they'll be able to access it. Okay, that's what open means. When you click on like your company or collaborators only, you can also set these other options here. So set custom URL. Basically, usually when you send a link, it's this cryptic name, right? Well, when you click on set custom URL, you can make it to be something more meaningful instead of this cryptic word. So you can just say it'll be stanford.box.com/project X or something like that instead of this. So that's what custom URL is. Set password, self-explanatory. You can set a password for them to access the link. And then expiration, you can set expiration dates for that link. So let's say you want it only to be up till the end of June. So after the end of June, that link will not work anymore. And then set restrictions. The only restrictions you can set is no download. So that's what set restrictions is. Okay. Your company. What this means is anyone with your email address can have access. They have that link, or any other collaborators that you assign, that you give permission to access that. Okay, collaborators only. This means only the people that you specifically set as collaborators can get that link. Okay, and then no link is there's no link at all, but the collaborators are the only ones. There's no link to pass around or anything like that. Okay. Now we'll talk about Box or Outlook. This is a way to extend Box using Outlook. So the benefits of this is, I'm sure everyone uses Outlook here, mostly everyone, and you know, a lot of us send files through email, right? Um, there's some negatives about that, because when we start to send out a lot of emails, our emails get full, and then we have to start manually archiving. The Box for Outlook will save you from manually archiving often. Instead of sending big files, you can just send box links. It also helps you keep track of who has access to your files. Once you send a file to someone over email, you don't know who else is seeing that file, right? Okay, and then within Box, you can share Box files through email, and then you also have more control over the files that you send over email. Okay, and then this is just a quick video of what Box Outlook is. Is it coming up? Cool. So I like that app. It's free. So if you use Outlook and you use Box, I suggest you get that. It's like cool, really helpful. It's in the app. Yeah, in the app, and I'll show you how to do that. We'll cover it here. Okay, so they cover some benefits. You can send links within that's already on Box in your email, and then you can convert attachments to Box to shared links, and then you also send larger specific files, send it as Box links over email. Okay, so now for Office. So for Office, Word, PowerPoint, Excel, you also have Box for Office, and this saves you from having to switch between Word and then logging into Box. You could basically create a Word file and then upload it to Box without leaving Word. Same thing with Excel and PowerPoint. And then you can share a Box link within Word to other people without leaving Office. So here's a demonstration on how that works. Awesome. Yes. Yeah, it's gonna sync to whatever you have set. So let's say you have 5 folders there, it's gonna have 5 folders on the box. Same thing with that one. Oh, it'll be, yeah, it'll be, well, it's gonna appear on the top right. It's gonna say, gonna have like a save to box button. Yeah. Oh yeah, no, you just have to log in with your account. Yeah. Once you download it and install it, when you click on that button, if you have logged in already, it'll say log in with your account. Yeah, and once you log in, it's gonna sync it. It knows once your account's in. Yeah. Yeah, yeah. Well, we don't want to share the S drive to other people because of security issues. Like those files are like, we lock it down. S drive only built. You probably need 2 versions. Yeah, you really need to think about the files you're working with and what type of permissions or who needs to have access to what. Yeah. Uh-huh. Yeah, yeah, because we do have project managers that are doing that. So like, they have working files that they're working on that's like really recent, and then once they're done with the project, they'll just put it back on the S drive. Yeah. But yeah, we don't suggest to sync S drive files to box. Yeah. Because of the security issues and things like that. Okay, so we'll just do a quick review of what we just watched. So you already open a file that's already stored on your box, edit it on Word or Excel PowerPoint, and then just save it to box without leaving any of those Office apps. Same thing here, you can open it and save it to box. And then you can share a link of that file you're working on to your coworkers or wherever else without having to leave any of the Microsoft apps. Okay, and then you had a question how to install that. So this is how you install it. You click on the apps button here, and then just type in here Box for Office or Box for Outlook, whatever you want to install, and then that app will show up. You click on the box, the blue button there, the blue box. It'll bring you up to this prompt, and then you hit the Add button. Once you hit the Add button, once you hit the Add button, it'll just have this pop-up where you can download the file. You just download it and install it. And if you have any problems, anybody at IT can help you download and install that. Alright, and then here is a quick way to, this is how Suman's doing her collaboration with other users. So if you don't know Suman's back there. She works at Maps and Records. So she works with us, with our project managers at DPM, Department of Project Management, for plan review. So this is how you button DPM review folder by clicking on it. Once you're inside, you want to create a new folder for your project. Select the new button, new folder, and add a name. Once you've finished, go back to that folder you just created. That way you can add plans and share with other collaborators. Click on the file browser and select the plan that you want to upload. Once it's finished uploading, your collaborators may now be able to view it from any device, from the desktop, iPad, or iPhone, without any extra software. This saves them extra steps to new planning. Okay, cool. So that's a demonstration of how you can collaborate with other Stanford users. So this is the previewer. right? They're able to preview a document without having to download it and then open up Acrobat just to see that file. They can do it in one step. They just log in, then find the file, click on it, and then they're able to do it. So that saves a lot of time. And you know, for these collaborators, they would probably they would only need preview, right? They don't need you know, to be editors. They just need to be previewers. Okay, and then here's some tips about Box. So if you're downloading a lot of files, you reach like air, the maximum you can download is 5 gigs. 5 gigs is the size of a DVD. So that's a good thumbnail, rule of thumb. And then if you're using like Firefox or any other browser when you download a file, make sure to look in the download folder. That's where it's going to be at. Some people forget or don't know where it gets downloaded to. And within Firefox, there is a read-only mode. And if you download a file and you select Open In, it's going to open it as a read-only file, and then you'll just be able to view it as a preview mode, and you're not really saving it. So you need to choose Save As. Okay, and then if you're a collaborator on another folder and you're unable to download the files that you download, just check your rights. You might be a previewer uploader or a previewer uploader, and you can't download it. And when you do download like more than 2 files, or let's say like 10 files, it's going to be downloaded as a zip file, right? And you look in your downloads folder, you only see 1 file there. You're thinking, where's the rest of my files? Well, all the files are downloaded as a zip file. So you need to open up that zip file and extract the file, and then you'll have the rest of your files there. And this is a cheat sheet. You can write this down. That's the link to that file. And I do have cheat sheet for the types of folders, the collaborator permissions, and then the shared link access there. Okay, great. Well, that ends my talk, but I'm open up to questions or anything like